Your phone was designed to addict you. Cal Newport discovered the escape plan Silicon Valley doesn't want you to know. The third rule changes everything. Cal Newport isn't some tech-hating Luddite. He's a computer science professor at Georgetown who studies how we work. And what he discovered terrified him. The average person checks their phone 85 times per day. That's not connection, that's compulsion. But here's the real insight: this isn't your fault. Newport reveals that every app on your phone was engineered by teams of brilliant engineers whose only job is to maximize your time on screen. They call it engagement. Newport calls it exploitation. The like button, the infinite scroll, those red notification badges, these aren't features. They're weapons. Weapons designed to hijack your brain's dopamine system and keep you coming back. What happened to us? Newport argues we sleepwalked into this digital dystopia. We adopted smartphones and social media without any philosophy about how they should fit into our lives. We just said yes to everything. And now we're paying the price. But what comes next changes everything you think you know about technology. And this is where it gets powerful. Newport introduces digital minimalism, a philosophy of technology use where you focus your online time on a small number of carefully selected activities that strongly support things you value, and then happily miss out on everything else. Read that again. Happily miss out. That's the revolution. Newport isn't asking you to delete everything and live in a cave. He's asking you to be intentional. Think about that for a second. When was the last time you intentionally chose to use an app, rather than mindlessly opening it? Newport studied the Amish for inspiration, not because he wants us to abandon technology, but because the Amish have something we've lost, a deliberate process for evaluating new technologies. They ask one simple question: does this tool serve our deepest values, or does it undermine them? Most of us have never asked that question. We download apps because they're free, because our friends use them, because we're bored. And that's exactly the problem. If this insight resonates, you'll love the full breakdown. Hit subscribe for more literary wisdom. Now let me show you the first rule that transforms everything. What the author reveals next is brilliant. Rule number 1: clutter is costly. Newport argues that every app, every notification, every digital tool extracts a cost from you, even the ones you think are harmless. Here's the calculation most people miss. That quick check of Instagram takes 30 seconds. Harmless, right? Wrong. Newport cites research showing it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully recover your attention after a distraction. 23 minutes. For 30 seconds of scrolling. Do the math across a day, and you're losing hours to what you thought were brief glances. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. Newport introduces the concept of attention residue. When you switch tasks, part of your mind stays stuck on the previous activity. That's why you can't focus after checking your phone. A piece of your attention is still back there, wondering if anyone liked your post. The cumulative effect is devastating. You're never fully present. Not at work, not with your family, not even with yourself. Your attention is fragmented across dozens of digital obligations. And this fragmentation? It's not just making you less productive, it's making you less happy. The research is clear: scattered attention correlates strongly with anxiety and depression. But the most important lesson is this. Rule number 2 requires something radical. Newport calls it the 30-day digital declutter. And it's not optional. Here's how it works. For 30 days, you step away from all optional technologies in your life. Not essential ones. If you need email for work, you keep it. But social media, news sites, games, streaming services, gone. Every single one. Now, here's what nobody expected. Newport found that most people panic at first. The anxiety is real. You'll reach for your phone dozens of times a day and find nothing there. You'll feel disconnected, bored, even lonely. But something remarkable happens around day 10. People start rediscovering themselves. They remember hobbies they abandoned. They have conversations that go beyond surface level. They experience something Newport calls solitude, not loneliness, but productive time alone with their thoughts. And this solitude? We're experiencing a crisis of its absence. Newport argues that for the first time in human history, an entire generation has grown up without significant time alone with their thoughts. Every moment of potential solitude, waiting in line, sitting on the bus, lying in bed, gets filled with digital noise. The consequences are only now becoming clear. But everything I just told you, that's just the setup. The wisdom deepens when we consider rule number 3, and this is the idea that changed millions of lives. Newport calls it reclaim leisure. Here's the counterintuitive truth. Most people fail at digital minimalism not because they lack willpower, but because they have nothing better to do. Think about that. If you remove social media and replace it with boredom, you'll be back on Instagram within a week. Newport's solution is radical. Before you declutter, you must cultivate high-quality leisure activities. Activities that demand skill, produce tangible results, and ideally involve real-world social interaction. He calls these demanding activities building something with your hands, learning an instrument, playing a team sport, hosting dinner parties. Notice what these have in common. They require effort. And that effort is precisely the point. Newport argues that human satisfaction comes from striving and accomplishment, not passive consumption. When you scroll social media, you're experiencing life secondhand. When you build a bookshelf, or master a chess opening, or cook a meal for friends, you're experiencing life directly. And that direct experience? It's what we're all starving for. If you want to see how this transforms everything, make sure you're subscribed. We're halfway through, and the application is coming. And this is how you apply it. Newport offers a specific practice called leisure planning. Every week, you sit down and schedule your demanding activities in advance. Not vaguely, specifically. Tuesday at 7 p.m., woodworking class. Saturday morning, hike with friends. This seems simple, but it's revolutionary. Because when you have something specific and enjoyable planned, the pull of digital distraction weakens dramatically. You have somewhere better to be. But here's the twist. Newport also addresses what he calls conversation-centric communication. Here's the problem. We've convinced ourselves that texting and social media comments are connection. They're not. Newport argues these are conversation-avoidant behaviors that trick us into thinking we're maintaining relationships while actually hollowing them out. The solution? Treat digital communication only as a way to arrange real conversations, phone calls, video chats, in-person meetings. Stop pretending that a like button equals caring about someone. What comes next will change how you think. Because Newport doesn't stop at individual practices. He shows how this philosophy scales to transform your entire relationship with technology. And that transformation? It starts with one question. But wait, there's one more key idea. The question Newport wants you to ask about every technology in your life is this: is this the best way to use technology to support this value? Not is it helpful. Not is it entertaining. Is it the best way? Here's why that distinction matters. Email might be helpful for staying connected with a friend. But is it the best way? Probably not. A monthly phone call would be better. Instagram might be entertaining. But is it the best way to experience beauty? Probably not. Visiting a museum or hiking would be better. This filter is ruthless. And when you apply it, most optional technologies fail the test. They're not serving your values, they're stealing from them. This is the revelation Newport builds to. We don't need to optimize our use of technology. We need to radically rethink it from first principles. Start with your values. Then ask what technologies support those values in the best possible way. Everything else gets eliminated, not because it's evil, but because it's not good enough for the limited attention you have to give. That's digital minimalism. Not anti-technology. Pro-human. You deserve better than what the attention economy offers. And now you know exactly how to reclaim what's yours. So what does this mean for you? Digital minimalism isn't asking you to go back to 1995. It's asking you to go forward intentionally. Here's what I want you to remember. First, clutter is costly. Every optional technology extracts attention, your most precious resource. Be ruthless about what you allow in. Second, the 30-day declutter isn't punishment, it's discovery. You can't know what you value until you create space to find out. Third, fill the void before you create it. Cultivate demanding leisure activities that provide real satisfaction. Fourth, connection isn't comments. Prioritize conversation over clicks, presence over performance. And, finally, ask the question: is this the best way to support what I value? If not, let it go. Newport ends his book with this thought: the key to thriving in our high-tech world is to spend much less time using technology. The irony isn't lost on him. But the people who've implemented these ideas report something remarkable. They don't feel deprived. They feel free. That's the essence of this remarkable book. Subscribe for more wisdom every week. What book should we forge next? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Now you understand why your phone feels like a prison, and you have the keys to escape. Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport isn't about rejecting technology. It's about choosing freedom. If this breakdown gave you a new perspective, smash that subscribe button. We forge wisdom from great books every week. And tell me in the comments, which insight hit you hardest? I read every single one.